Blue Lock Chapter 317 has just released. The end of the first half is here, with Nigeria giving one final counterattack. So it's up to Blue Lock to either stop them or Nigeria to close the gap, because a down 0-2 is not a good look, y'all. Nigeria is on the verge of fraud watch. We also get some more details about the Nigeria team, their backstories, and even previous feats and accomplishments. There's a lot to talk about, so let's jump into it quick. The chapter kicks off with Japan's crowd erupting after Ryo's goal, which is exactly how we all felt, yes, you and me. And then the announcer saying Japan is making a statement, scoring 2 goals. We see the clock and all of a sudden there is 10 minutes remaining, which is mad confusing because Batra scored in the first 3 minutes and then Ryo got the ball right after and scored in another minute, and now we got Nigeria with the ball. So I don't know how the hell 35 minutes passed logically. Stephen Strange had to have used the time stone, but realistically they're probably just speedrunning the games to get to the other matches. Anyways, Nigeria restarts with the ball as the final 10 minutes begins. Onazi passes it to Kuso, who says he understands everything up to this point, and that out of all the matches they've played, Blue Lock is definitely the strongest. I feel like all Kuso has done in this match is literally glaze Blue Lock, and that's about it. Like 35 minutes have passed and he's had some Looney Tunes performance as the captain. He talks about how the source of Blue Lock's power lies in these 3, as we see a depiction of Isagi, Karasu, and Aiku on the pitch. Basically, the brains behind Blue Lock are analyzing their tactics with intelligence and logic. They can read the dangers on the field and break through anything while controlling it. Kuso's analysis, even though it's right, has had 0 impact so far. We are still down 0-2. We needed this analysis before the game. The NEL was only $1. We could have watched their games beforehand. It's nice to see the Metavision boys getting their praise though. They usually fly under the radar when you got other players scoring goals and whatnot, so everyone is getting some appreciation somehow, some way. He then brings up the rest of the squad, basically giving all of Blue Lock their props, from Batra and Chigiri all the way to Nico and Ryu. Anyways, Kuso talks about how the one player keeping this chaotic, circus-like team together is without a doubt Isagi Yoichi, and oh my god guys, Kuso is actually a D1 glazer. Every single opportunity is him praising Isagi. I swear, his own team can score a goal and he'll still be glazing Isagi somehow. He's literally on some Phase K timing. You're insane, Jarvis. Let's be clear here, folks. Isagi do be deserving the glaze though, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I haven't contributed to this. With 10 minutes left though, Kuso is feeling the pressure and making another shocked or surprised face, and basically says we have to stop Isagi or else we're gonna lose, which is the highest compliment a player can receive, by the way. Kuso is literally dokes. He knows Isagi is the problem, but he can't prove it because he's trash. Man, he literally hasn't done anything to help. We see the pass land to Onazi, and I swear this is the only Nigeria player locked in because he got that game time face. Nigeria might just be Onazi and the trash can friends. We then jump to another backstory for Nigeria though, with Bello saying Onazi is amazing and asking if he played football before, because in the last chapter he scored that goal mixing up Aboa Bona and Bello. He says that it was his first time playing, which is actually crazy, like Onazi putting up some prime Nagi Seishiro numbers right here. I only started 6 months ago, head-ah. You'd expect him to be like the kids Bachara was teaching. Kuso, all happy, says that Onazi is a genius, and Aboa Bona says he's amazing, continuing that with him on their side. Maybe they can even go pro. While this is going on, we see Onazi with Chigiri on him get a pass to Bello, where we see a kid version of him all happy and jolly saying, yeah, let's dream big and win the World Cup. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, as much as Nigeria is getting cooked, Kaneshiro be showing us their hopes and dreams. Like, this for real making me feel bad. Aboa Bona even brings up if they do it, they could beat these monsters and become filthy rich. As we see Kuso say, of course, they can get anything and go anywhere. Bello jumping ecstatically, talking about how they're gonna take charge. But Onazi says, no, it's not that easy. Becoming a pro is insane. But Bello and Aboa Bona are just saying it's fine because you're here, Onazi. And even Kuso chips in, agreeing that him being there makes him think on a whole nother level. Kuso adds on that Onazi here makes him feel like it's okay to dream, saying he's a genius, the chosen one, our shining hope. It's no wonder why Bello, Aboabona, and Kuso believe in this guy so much. They've been Onazi followers since day one, literally day one. He put on a masterclass with no experience and they decided to become his merchants. And Onazi says the thing, his signature line, "I'm here," as he's surprised that he's seen so highly in the others' eyes. And like I said, this backstory is hitting even more now that they're getting pieced up. We see some newspapers about Onazi, with one of them even saying Nigeria New Generation, but I don't think it's referring to the New Generation 11 because they would have stated that at the start. And then we get the reveal of the boys being the U20 Africa Cup champions. This celebration is low-key hype as hell. You got Onazi screaming, Kuso smiling for probably the first time, and everyone celebrating. If I recall, Morocco has a New Gen 11 as well, or at least it was shown on that one panel supposedly showcasing them all, so it's pretty impressive that they beat them and their New Gen 11. But all of that kind of gets thrown out of the window when you remember they're down 2 goals, and apparently there's only 1 minute left of additional time. We time skipped again. What happened to the other 9 minutes? Kuso says we'll decide it here with Onazi's extraordinary talent and mindset, but above all, in the air, Onazi can enable his natural jumping abilities, as we get a callback to his previous feats in this match. I knew it. The first chapter of this game, we had him soar to new heights with this 40-inch vert as a little kid. I knew that must be his secret weapon. As Kuso passes, he manages to get it through Karasu, who looks stressed as hell, and Aryu, who trying to look majestic, but he says the ultimate reason Onazi plays as a striker is because he's able to shoot mid-air, meaning his shooting range is doubled. We see Isagi get on him, and Onazi straight up says, "I'll beat you," as he's left in front of the goal against the people's go, Gagamaru. Gagamaru all about that though, because he just says, "Bring it," and when you got Gagamaru saying something like this, you just know your shot's getting blocked. And then we get Gagamaru's flashback to his note from Ego, saying that he's still fighting by relying on prayer. So he needs to build the body of a goalkeeper, experience the special knock training. As we see a baseball pitching machine start hurling balls towards Gagamaru, and since it's faster and smaller than a regular football, his reaction time improves. He says he feels like his coordination between his eyes and body have become 1.5 times faster, and to let his body remember this feeling. We jump back to the present though, and we see Kuso screaming, saying, "Come on, our light of hope," as Onazi gets a shot off past Isagi. I know Isagi is ducking a little too, but are we seeing the air Onazi is getting? Bro legit jumped up to Isagi's head height. What the hell? The second part of the page though, we see the ball going towards Gagamaru, and he talks about how the ball is a trajectory that rises while escaping. His body is moving on its own, but it's slower than the baseball practice shots, which FYI is absolutely crazy to say. Like, I get that it's true, but it was just practice, dog. That's just mad disrespectful. So at this current moment, we got Onazi and Nigeria's backstory versus Gagamaru's baseball training backstory. They're both competing for a goal or a block. Gagamaru says a shot like this has no chance getting past him, as Gagamaru deflects the ball and saves the goal, proclaiming himself as Japan's guardian god. Oh my god, he did it, y'all. We won the backstory war. This just proves 2 things that we already knew. Gagamaru is the GOAT, and Nigeria is a bunch of bums. I genuinely can't even believe what I'm seeing. You'd expect after 2 goals and being the U20 Africa Cup champions, they would score at least 1. But now it's looking like a Mickey Mouse win. We've done nothing. Not even a backstory could save them. I don't even know anymore, man. This is just a humiliation ritual. We need to switch everything up. This is confirmed the end of the first half. Kuso is looking shocked, but the grass is also green. What else is new? He's been having this exact same face for the past 5 chapters. Probably a good thing that it's halftime for Nigeria. They can actually cook up a strategy in the halftime instead of just glazing Isagi. The Nigeria coach needs to put on on the performance of a lifetime to make this comeback, but he's nowhere near Ego's level, so I don't know how he's gonna do it. In fact, I don't even think he's gonna appear. It wraps up with Japan's guardian god, fire nickname by the way, taking some time to aura farm, saying leave it to me as we end the chapter on a 2-0 lead for BLUELOCK. I honestly expected Nigeria to score here, but Gagamaru catching baseballs is too damn strong. I don't think anyone hates Gagamaru. This is the one character everyone loves. So to see him getting the spotlight is amazing. It really proves that this game is just gonna be a match to show off everyone's training. Nigeria's backstory filled with hopes and dreams. Losing here, it's kind of sad. It reminds me of Naruhaya, where you know they're going to lose, even with a sad backstory. I'm not gonna lie, there's part of me that believes that Nigeria is still gonna put a fight towards the end of the match. I'm sure Kaneshiro would want to make every single game intense, but Nigeria is getting beyond cooked. They're looking like a bunch of bums so far, and we haven't really seen Isagi or Rin do much. So once they're in the equation, it might even be worse for Nigeria. I know how insane it is for me to say that with BLUELOCK winning so badly. I just have this feeling that we didn't get all this development for nothing, and Nigeria will probably get their get back. Anyways, chapter 318 is titled I Want to Win, and I think this will be Nigeria's time to finally get their comeback. We're gonna have a halftime talk, we're gonna collect ourselves, and Onazi is gonna show up. Or at least have them put up a fight, man. Have Onazi score a goal because everyone else hasn't really been that good. I think this chapter will be him saying that what we're doing isn't working. Onazi wants to win, so we gotta switch something up. I mean, the chapter title is literally I Want to Win. Of course, it's gonna be a Nigeria-focused chapter. It could just be a bait, though, and Isagi is saying, I want to win, but why would he be saying that, even though they're in the lead? It is halftime, folks, so that potentially means we might be getting some substitutions. The BLUELOCK formation is working, but they could also throw in some subs, just to completely mix up Nigeria, on top of just having some hype moments with the subs. Or they could just be doing it to show off the other players' developments and trainings. Like, I could see Ryu getting subbed off for someone like Raichi, because Ryu already had his backstory, and Raichi can mark Onazi, so it just makes sense. I personally think that would be a great sub at this point in time. Even though we already up by a lot, it would be a big statement if they shut them out completely, and Raichi can get his development. The pacing of the game has been going pretty quickly so far. It started on chapter 313, and now we're on 317. It's already halfway through the match, which makes sense. It's the Barca treatment, just like the same for the NEL. This game shows us how the U20 World Cup works, shows us how good BLUELOCK is after their trainings, and then we get into the important matches. I honestly don't know how much longer we have of this game. I would say like 6 to 7 chapters could be realistic, a little longer than Barca, which was only 10 chapters. So around 12 total chapters for this game, and then we move on to France, which everyone is waiting for. Honestly, I see a lot of people saying they want this game to end so that we can move on to France, which there is good reasons. You get to see Loki and Charles, you get to the other matches quicker, and another thing, we'll probably get updates on the Baratsuta 3 and a Nagi in between the games. Nagi was super important before the World Cup, so no way they'll forget about him now. And especially the noise marketing, it would do a lot for BLUELOCK, showing him again, because he has both a lot of fans and a lot of haters. People would be talking about Nagi a lot, him showing back up, and in general BLUELOCK, because they're talking about Nagi, so it's probably a good decision for him to be brought up again. I don't know though, I'm personally enjoying this game a lot. As much as I'm hyped to see the other games, I don't really want to rush this game too much. We get to see a lot of the other players' trainings. Nigeria, although they're putting up a Mickey Mouse performance, their backstory, philosophy, and everything is pretty wholesome. I like it so far. We got to see a lot of characters getting highlights, a lot of characters getting goals. It's a perfect opener for the U20 World Cup. It just doesn't have as much stakes, so I see where people are coming from when they say BLUELOCK is just gonna win this match, so they want it to be over, or they want to see France or Nagi. Anyways, that about wraps it up for this video. I really think we're gonna get to the point where Nigeria is actually gonna be a competent team and not just get steamrolled. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything BLUELOCK. The U20 World Cup is about to spice up, I feel, so you don't want to miss a thing. YouTube really thinks you'd like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too. If you made it to the end though, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always, and I'll see y'all in the next one.